In the previous lessons, we learned about CSS selectors and how to use CSS in different ways, both internally and externally. We also explored CSS properties related to colors, and now in this video, we will delve deeper into properties related to backgrounds, and we will continue to learn CSS properties step by step. We will then apply these concepts to our website in upcoming videos. Please keep in mind you don't have to start memorizing these properties. You will get used to them over time as you start using them more and more. And friends, coding is like an open book exam where whenever you find yourself stuck, you have a wealth of resources at your disposal. The best approach is to turn to platforms like Google or consult with a ChatGPT. Simply describe your issue and you will receive immediate assistance to help you achieve your coding goals. So just focus on understanding what's available by following these tutorials. And these are some tips that I just wanted to share. Now having all said, let's come back to our topic of today's video, which is CSS Background Properties. The CSS Background Properties play a crucial role in adding visually appealing background effects to elements on a web page. These properties allows us to customize and enhance the look and feel of different elements by setting background color, images, sizes, positions, and repeating patterns. This enables us to create engaging and pleasing designs for websites or applications. Now in this video, we will cover these background properties, which are background color, background image, background repeat, background attachment, background position, and background property, which is the shorthand for all the above mentioned properties. Now first we have this background color property, and the background color property is used to define the background color of an element on a web page. It allows us to choose a specific color or use a transparent background. This property is commonly used to customize the appearance of different elements, such as text boxes, buttons, and div containers. We can change background color for any HTML element. Now after changing the background, we can also use opacity property, which is used to control the transparency of an element. It accepts a value between 0 and 1, where 0 represents complete transparency and 1 represents full opacity. By adjusting the value, you can make an element more or less transparent, allowing for creative design effects. We can also control the opacity of colors using RGBA values that we learned in previous video. Now it's important to note that when we use the opacity property to make an element transparent, its child elements will also inherit the same level of transparency, and this can become problematic, especially when dealing with fully transparent elements, as the text inside them may become difficult to read. Now the second one is background image. We can use background image property to specify an image as the background for an element. By default, the image will be repeated in order to cover the entire element, which means if you have a larger element size but a smaller image, the image will repeat to cover the size of your element. This ensures that your element is fully covered and no empty space is left. Background image property is helpful in creating visually appealing and consistent designs across different elements on a web page. It's important to note that when using a background image, it's advisable to select an image that does not disrupt the visibility or legibility of the text. By choosing an appropriate background image, you can ensure that your content remains clear and easy to read for your website visitors. Like background color, we can also set the background image for any HTML element. Now the third one is background repeat. As you know, by default, when using the background image property, the image is repeated both horizontally and vertically. However, there are situations where certain images should be repeated only in one direction. to avoid them looking distorted or awkward. By applying the CSS property background repeat with the value repeat x to the image, it will be repeated horizontally, resulting in visually appealing background. This technique enhances the overall aesthetics of the background, and if we want to repeat our image vertically, we just need to set the value to repeat y. Now in case if we want that background image is displayed only once, we can use the background property. This property allows us to specify how the background image should be repeated, and setting it to no repeat will ensure that the image appears only once in the background. We can also specify the positioning of our image by using background position property. The background position property is an important CSS property that allows us to precisely specify the position of a background image. It determines where the image will be displayed within its containing element. By using this property, we have a full control over the placement of our background image on our web page or application. Now the fourth one is background attachment property. The background attachment property is useful CSS property that determines if the background image should scroll with the page or remain fixed in one position. This can be a handy technique for creating visually engaging websites by adding depth and motion to our design. Now the last one is just background, which is the shorthand for all the four properties that we learned. A more concise way of writing code is by using a shorthand property, where all background properties can be specified in a single line. This technique helps streamline the code and improve readability. Instead of writing each property for background separately, we can use this shorthand property, which is background. And in this, the first value is for color, the second is for image, and third one is for background repeat, and fourth is for background attachment property. Alright, we have pretty much covered all the CSS background properties in this video, and I hope this will serve as a solid foundation for you moving forward. Now let's open VS Code so we can apply some more styles to our website. If you don't have the starting files for this project, you can download these files from the video description. Now open this project in VS Code and then start your live server by clicking here, and after that open your style.css file. Now here I am adding font family to our body element, and we can add font family by using font family property and then the name of the font that we want to use. And now I am simply using this Arial font and the type is sans serif. Now after applying the font family, you can see our font is changed on our website, and we will learn about fonts later in this course. Now after adding the font family, I want to change the background color of this header, and we can change the background color of header element by using header, which is our element name, and then here we just need to use background, and here I am using this hex value for my color, which is hashtag 3, 3 and 3. Now you can see our background is now in black and our font color is also black. So now I want to change the color of my fonts. So now how we can change the font color? We can change the font color by using just color property, and then we can set the value to white. Now you can see our heading is in white color, but these links elements are still in blue. We will style this later. Now after changing the background of this header element, I want to style this div element which have this container class. So just copy the container class and paste this class followed by period sign in your CSS file. Now here I want to set the width of our container element, and now I am setting the width using max width property, and then I am setting the value to 1200 pixels. Now after adding max width, I want to add this margin property, and then I am setting its value to 0 and auto. Now this margin property is shorthand for setting the margin for all 4 dimensions. If we use 2 values, this means that 0 is used for top and bottom margin, and this second value is for left and right, which we are setting to auto. By using this technique, we can center our container in our web page. After that, I just want to add the padding, and now I am using this padding property in order to add space inside our container element. Now that is enough for today's video. We will continue styling this website in future videos. And now thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to join this exciting web development journey with us. Until next time, keep coding and keep creating. I will see you in the next video.